What's up, YouTube land? Today I'm just doing another album review. I'm actually today reviewing the new Five Finger Death Punch album, 5/8 or Fate, however they say it. Whatever Fast and Furious movie they named it after. I'm this kid, and I actually like Five Finger Death Punch. I think this album's a lot stronger than Injustice for None. That album's like grown on me though after the 2 years that it came out. I think it came out 2 years ago. They're kind of doing the thing a lot of bands, they come out with an album every other year or every 2 years. That's kind of like the thing now with bands, album tour, album tour. I mean, that's nothing new about that. Listen a little Ozzy in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. Ordinary Man. This album's really grown on me. I think it's a strong album. I was kind of didn't think I wasn't expecting much with Post Malone's producer, but he actually think he did a good job. It's a solid album. It keeps growing on me. A lot stronger, I think, than Scream or Black Rain. But the album I'm reviewing today is 5/8 or Fade or however they call it. Five Finger Death Punch new album. Came out like last Friday, I think. But I actually dig this album. It's got some bangers on there. It's definitely got some cheesy lyrics that I think Ivan's kind of. I don't know what's up with the cheesy lyrics. It's kind of you kind of cringe, But the band is awesome. This album is a lot more solid than Kitty Cat Went By. A lot solid than some of their last two albums, I think. I tell you what, Ivan's like choruses on this album though are really catchy, really almost goes into ballad territory. With even the bangers, it's really cool how he's made some really catchy choruses out of just real bangers. I think that would be really hard to do. That's really cool. I was gonna just go through the songs and kind of talk about them, like I usually do with reviews. This album starts off with the song 5/8, which is kind of like this instrumental kind of building. I think it's not even a minute long, maybe a minute and a couple of seconds, kind of building, going into the first song, that's song 2, Inside Out. And it kind of starts off with like strings and keyboards and kind of just the guitar and drums just keep building. Then it goes into Inside Out. That's kind of like a trend now here with albums. That I think I've heard All That Remains do that on albums, and this stuff. And I'm trying to think who else has done it. A lot of newer metal bands do that. I think I've even heard Ozzy do that in some of his albums, which is cool. Then it goes Inside Out. That's the first single from this album, and I like it. It's kind of my favorite song on this album. It's kind of I feel like they're going through the emotions on that song. It's nothing new that you haven't heard from Five Finger Death Punch, but I guess if it's not broke, don't fix it. But still a cool song. I still like it. Then you have Full Circle. Hey baby, another banger. But it's kind of like Inside Out, just kind of going through the motions. Kind of nothing too new, but I still like it. It's still heavy. Living Through the Dream, I like that song, but I feel like the lyrics are just really cheesy. That's the only thing about that song that's kind of hinders it. It's just really, really cheesy lyrics. But the song's really cool. Almost like it go to heavy, slow, kind of ballady and heavy, which is cool. The next song a little bit off. I think that's probably the worst Five Finger Death Punch song I've ever heard. It's like so cheesy bad. Like that almost killed the album for me. I almost threw the CD out the window. I was like, wow, this is really, really bad. And it's like Luke Bryant bad. But luckily the rest of the album kind of redeems itself. Then you have Bottom Off the Top. Well, that song is like a banger. That's one of my favorite songs on here. It almost has like a Pantera Far From Driven Master of Puppets kind of riff, and it's just a banger song. Really, really heavy song. I really like that song. And then to be to be at well, the handwriting on the back, I can't read it. But I think I remember that song being kind of heavy. It might be a ballad, I can't remember. But Mother May I, TikTok, that song was kind of heavy. They kind of got rid of. I know, like last song they had a lot of ballads. They kind of only have a few ballads on here, and they've kind of gone with more of the bangers. And I think that's what the band really needed. Mother May I, TikTok. I think that song was really heavy, but it's kind of, again, the lyrics are kind of cheesy, but still like a banger to put on in this kind of turn your stereo to 11, rock out to. Still a solid song. Let's see, Dark and Little Bit In. I think Darkness. Like it's like everything's in cursive. And it's hard to read on the back. But I remember that being like a banger. I remember. I think This Is War. I remember that being like really heavy, really cool. I remember I wasn't expecting much from that, and it had like a Fear Factory riff. Kind of, it goes back to War is the Answer and The Way of the Fist, which I thought that was really cool. That's what's kind of I'm looking for a Five Finger Death Punch album. I keep buying their albums, songs like that. That song really surprised me. That was like, I don't know if that's just the band's back. Ivan's kind of got a new mentality. I know he's got his sobriety back. I don't know if that's just made the band stronger and the musicianship stronger, but that song is like, that's what I'm talking about. More of that, please. Leave It All Behind. That's kind of a ballad. I think that was okay. I think that was a kind of a cool song. Scar Tissue. I was hoping that wasn't a Red Hot Chili Peppers cover, and it's not. That was a cool song. Kind of like a droning riff, but kind of slow. I remember that being a cool. No, I think that was that was a heavy song. I think that was a cool song. Bright Inside of Grey. That was kind of a ballad. It was okay. It's kind of. I thought that was kind of maybe forgettable, but I still liked it nevertheless. It was kind of a cool ballad. But I would probably go back to the bangers. But I would say the best. Be Bottom Off the Top and This Is War. That's those songs alone. I think that's worth the album. But this is like the best Five Finger Death Punch album I think in a long time. Definitely gonna listen to have repeat listens and listen to this. I actually got some bonus tracks. I got mine at Target. I got Making the Monster, Death Punch Therapy, and then Inside Out, the radio edit, which I think is a little bit longer. I don't think I've listened to those songs yet, but I listened to the notes of the album, and I really dig it. Like I said, this is like the best Five Finger Death Punch album in a while, probably since I would say since War is the Answer or American Capitalism. But I really actually dug this album. I was a little scared when I got to a little bit off. I was like, oh god, here we go. But the rest of the album is really solid. Definitely check it out. So you got a picture of him inside. I guess Ivan's always got that bat with him. I remember I saw him live. He had that bat and he was slapping on the microphone. And he's got this crazy microphone, almost like a Jonathan Davis microphone, if you ever seen that. But really cool. Like I said, don't expect like William Shakespeare lyrics, but the album is really solid. I'm not saying this band will take these bands, but it's cool to have a heavy band kind of that's big, like them and Avenged Sevenfold. Kitty's going by again. I think my kitty's getting bored. But it's cool to have big bands like this in the metal world. It's kind of cool, It kind of reminds me of days like in the 90s, like when Pantera was huge and Metallica was huge. I'm not saying this band sounds like them, but it's cool to still have bands like that are big like that. But it's I wouldn't expect it much with this album, but I'm really surprised. I liked it a lot more than Injustice for None. And I actually Injustice for None's kind of grown on me over the last year. So I think I put on my iPhone and listened to it on the way to work, and I was like, well, it's got some bangers on there. But this Fate or 5/8's definitely a stronger album. I really dug it. But definitely gonna continue listening to it. That's what I'm talking about. I hope the albums keep getting better and better and heavier. I think they're coming to town with I Prevail and Papa Roach. I don't think I'm going to go see that. I'm actually going to go see Devin Townsend tomorrow night, so I'm excited about that. But cool. Thanks for watching my video. Hope you like my review. Like I said, I'm just doing this for fun. I could really give a shit if I get famous off this, or I just, like I said, it's like an outlet for me. I like talking about music, and my wife probably gets tired of hearing it, and she probably gets bored. I would too, and I just nerd out about it. So cool. Thank you. Cheers.